This video is just going to show you what is in the layout that you're importing. This layout is an 11 by 17 sheet of paper with a 1 inch by 1 inch grid across it. In the top left you have your name and your program, so this is what your building program is, so like a theater or a museum or whatever, and then your city and your climate as well. You don't have to change this UT Arc Engineering. To change this, you can modify this in a couple different ways. You can select it, and if you go to the properties under the object properties, you can change this here. Or you can double click on it, and it will have an edit text dialog that comes off for you to modify. On the sheet there are what are called details. There are 3 details on the sheet. There's a northwest isometric, a southeast isometric, and a plan view. If you select any of these details, you can see that in the object properties it's locked, and it's locked to a scale of 1 inch equals 40 feet. Now when these are locked, what that means is if I double click inside of one of these layers, or sorry, these details, when I zoom in, it's not going to zoom into the actual page. Let's double click out of it, select the detail, and we can unlock it, and you can see that now if I double click and I zoom, it's going to change the zoom value, and if you let's say zoom out and you click the detail, you can see now it's not at the right scale. So go ahead and keep those locked, and it will stay at 1 inch equals 40 feet. So the bottom 2 details represent your view A and your view B, as we've been calling it. The view A should be okay. You might want to double click into it and manipulate it a little bit after unlocking it. If your building is a little bit too tall, you can actually expand this view a little bit as well. Now the view B represents a little bit more of a problem because we can't see all of our building. So what we're going to do here is, if you double click into this view, we're going to use a command called hide in detail. Now we want to hide these buildings, and what we first need to do is make sure our context layer is unlocked so we can hide these buildings. So I'm going to shift select some of these items, and you can see it pops up in the other details as well, but if I run a command called hide in detail, you can see they just hide in here, they don't hide in this other one. Now there's some other items that you might need to click and run the command again, and now you can see that we can see all of our building. We want a footprint of our building though, so what we're going to do is double click out and actually go to this other detail. We're going to shift click these buildings, and then we're going to shift click the lots. So you can see here there's that poly surface, extrusion, that's what we want, and then we're going to run a command called intersect, and now you can see over here we have an imprint of the buildings. If we double click to get out of that view, then we have a nice southeast isometric that shows the buildings around it, but our whole building is visible.